him what he learned. He goes nothing.
I'm zooming.
That's fine. I think I have.
Oops. There we go. Okay, last Zoom. Let's get my iPad set up. Oh, here we go with that stupid ding dong thing. There we go. Oh, look at that. The same group. Okay, let's see. We have 3 minutes. But just so you guys know, basically all we're covering today is how to do a box and whisker plot, because once you can do that with the data, it's going to basically do the entire last 3 sections for you. Of course, Victor. I am recording this one. You're very welcome. All right, so I know some people will probably be late because they always are. So we've got about 1 minute left, and then we're going to get started. And I have a bunch of examples of box and whisker plots, and I will just keep doing it until you guys get it. It is a 6th grade standard. I remember when I taught 6th grade, it's done, I want to say 2nd semester, about the same time we're doing it now. But I think it's the one thing nobody ever wants to learn.
So are 6.4 and 6.5 pretty easy then, since we're not doing Zooms for them?
This is 6.2 and 6.3. 6.4 is one of those quizzes that just goes over the 6s, and then we're done.
Oh, okay.
You're done. You do these 3 assignments, and if you're caught up, there is nothing left to do, as long as you have a B or higher. If you do not have a B, you guys need to redo your material. Mikey, I know you have a B.
I have 100.
I think you added a couple numbers onto there. You might have like a 1%.
1%?
Do you realize you're not the only one with 100 this time?
Oh, yeah, I know. No, I had 105 last time.
I know. But, here's the other thing we just found out today. We have no control over your end of year grade. They've taken that away from us. So your semester 1 grade plus semester 2 grade divided by 2 will be your end of year grade. Like we can't, you know how I usually, like if you're at an 89, I'll bump you to a 90. They won't let us do that for the year.
So basically, after this Zoom, I could pretty much just go and finish algebra.
My expectation is that you would go do that.
Like today, right?
Yeah, like today. And then guess what? You're done with math, 100%.
Yes.
Because I know you're caught up, so you'll be fine. All right, so let's get going. The one question a lot of people are getting wrong is it asks you, do you use the mean or median for this information that's been given? So the easiest way to think about it is if it's pretty much symmetrical, you're always going to use the mean. But if it's skewed at all, let it be to the left or the right, which generally means there's an outlier somewhere, then you will always use the median. So that's the hardest question on this material. I will tell you, I've been probably the easiest grader. So if you text me that you're done, I'll go back through and look at it. And if I think you deserve the points, I give it to you. So don't be afraid to just text me and say, hey, look, will you go look at this? I got the question wrong, but this is why I think it's right. And then I generally go back and give you the points because they are pretty brutal about it. All right. So any questions on that? Do you understand what symmetrical and skewed means?
Symmetrical means like to both same on both sides, and skewed means, I don't know.
Okay, so symmetrical for a box and whisker plot is generally going to be something that looks more like this. Hold on. Someone else doesn't have the Zoom. Even though I wanted to tell you, Michael, that it's the same one.
Oh, okay.
Every time. That's why I've always had a second Zoom room ready in case we had that interesting person join us again. Hold on. Password is shark. Okay. So if it's skewed, generally that means your data is going to be to the left or to the right, like this, or to the other way. So do you see how the big box isn't in the middle? So this is pretty much centered. And that's symmetrical. And skewed is either to the left or the right. It just means it's asymmetrical. Make sense? Kinesio. I'm going to unmute
Hold
you.
on, I was on mute. I got you.
Does that answer your question? Michael, does that answer your question? You know, everybody goes back to watch the Zoom.
Yeah.
Watch me yelling at you and Mitchell.
Yes, I got it. I forgot I was on mute.
I could see you right now talking, and you're probably like, da, 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 and nobody's there. All right. No more questions on that. That was probably the hardest part. If you know how to do a box and whisker plot, you're good. I will tell you, I have plenty of examples. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 examples to do if you want to stick around, or you can leave whenever you get it. So let's say we do not care about the word problem. I'm going to tell you that much now. So you have state A with the data. If I could read my own handwriting. 35, 36, 35, 34, 35, 38, 36, 36, and 38. And state B. And no, we don't care what it's about. 24, 22, 20, 50, 25, 24, 65, 25, and 26. Can anybody tell me why I boxed in that 65?
Your maximum?
Not just it's a maximum. Look at all those numbers. What do you think that 65 means to me?
It's the outlier.
It is the outlier. Good. So the first step is to put everything in order from smallest to biggest. 36, 36, 36, 38, 38. So what I like to do is I always mark that off, and then I try to group it so that you can actually see the quartiles. So you have the upper and the lower, okay? 36 is my median. And I always taught kids when we were learning this originally, you think of the median in the road, how it's down the middle of the road, like 19 has that median in the middle. Then you have the lanes on the left and the right. So that helped. So that's your median, 36. And then you're going to do your well, first you have your minimum, 34, and your maximum, 38. Now to get this middle number in between 34 and 36, I look at these 4 numbers to the left of the median. So I find the new median, which is a 35. Then I do the same thing for the right side, and I look at the median there, which is 36 plus 38 divided by 2, which gives me 37. So if they ask you what is a 5-number summary of the data for a state A, you would just say 34, 35, 36, 37, and 38. So you have the lower quartiles and the upper quartiles, and then you can do your box plot, which is easy with this one because the numbers are pretty. 33, 34, put a line there, 35, a line there because that's these. That's what those lines mean. 36, another one, 37, 38, 39, and yada, yada, yada. So I do this for my middle, for my box, and this is my whiskers, and you're done. Does that make sense? Okay, so can anybody tell me if this one is symmetrical or asymmetrical?
Symmetrical.
Perfect, you are right. So now we are going to look at state B. So state B, I'm going to put those numbers in order, and I already did that part on just this problem because you're going to mess anything up. It's putting them in order. 24, 24, 25, 25, 26, 50, 65. Doop, doop. Okay, so then I do the same thing I did before. And I'm just counting until I find the middle number. So my median is 25. Then I'm going to look at my lowest is 20, my highest is 65. So then I look at the 4 on the left, and I'm going to find the median of these two, which is 23. 4 on the right. And notice I'm not including that 25. And then I find the median of those two, which is 38. So that is what's going to create my box and whisker plot again. I forgot to turn off. All right, come on, you stupid machine. I'm trying to turn off my email. Okay. So then I'm going to honestly count by tens because we know I'm lazy. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So then I do 20 gets a line, 23. So if this is 25, I know I'm going to be a little bit lower than that. Then 25, 38. So if this is 35, I'm going to be a little bit bigger than that. And then 65. So again, here's my middle 3 connected. And then there's my whiskers. So now this one. Is this one symmetrical or asymmetrical?
Asymmetrical.
Exactly, because it is skewed. Who knows which way is it skewed?
To the left.
Perfect. So this one is skewed to the left. Does anybody know why this becomes skewed versus the other one?
To this asymmetrical.
Right, but what if I looked at the data? You should have been able to know right away without drawing anything. Oops, I wanted to go back a page. Without drawing anything, I could look at state A and I would have noticed that that one's pretty much symmetrical because look at those numbers, 35s, 36, and 34s, 38. Like they're all really close. Good job, Ariel. There's that huge outlier that we talked about with 65. So that right there, and even the 50 is pretty much out there, but it's not an outlier because of the percent difference. But 65 is. So does everybody understand how we created a box and whisker plot? Make sure you do your I don't get it if you don't get it, because we still have some more data to talk about with this. Hold on. I do not have my teacup up here yet. I forgot. We got standards to uphold. Oh, there we go. Okay, good. All right, so now when looking at this data, I'm going to keep this screen up here to start because we're going to look at state A to start. So we talked about the fact that these 5 numbers are a 5-number summary because that's what summarizes all the data. Then you have to know things like a range. Let's see if I can change my pen color. No, let's do green. So let's erase the words range. This way it's easier to see. Okay, so we have range. So the actual range is going to be just the 38 minus the 34, which gives me 4. Then you're going to do your interquartile range, IQR. And that will always be this number here minus this number here. So I had 37 minus 35, which is 2. So let's see, did we miss anything? Nope. There's no outliers, it's not skewed. So that's this one. So for this one, to represent the data, if they just asked you for one number to represent it, you would go ahead and use the mean. So you know to add up all the numbers, divide by the total number of numbers, and that would give you a good judge of the physical data in front of you. Now let's look at the next one. Go back to this one. Same idea we're going to do that we just did before is the range, which is 65 minus 20, because it's big minus little, which gives me 45. But then let's look at the interquartile range. And this is where it tells you that there's a huge skew because you're going to take this number here, which is 38, minus this number here, which is 23, which gives me 15. These two numbers are like a big difference this time. So if we looked at the other one, there wasn't that far off. A 4 and a 2 aren't that far off, even though it's double it. But for this one, there's a huge difference. Even if I doubled the 15, I still got more to go. So that's my interquartile range. And then I look at it, and I talked about the fact, Ariel pointed out, that 65 is my outlier. It's all the way out there, and this one's out in right field. And so it does skew my data. If I had a limit, and they will ask you about it, what happens if you eliminate the 65? You would do the same thing and find out what happens to the mean and median. They do ask that question. Let's see, I think that's everything. Okay, so that's everything. So if you get this, you're good. If not, we're gonna do another one the same way. This helps you answer in the last one, 6-4. You have a last question where it's short answer, and it tells you to create a 5-number summary. So we did that, which is just these 5 numbers. And then it says calculate the interquartile range, which was your IQR. And then it asks you, are they symmetrical? So drawing your box and whisker plot on your own piece of paper shows you whether or not they're symmetrical. And if it's not, justify it just by saying it is skewed to the left because of the number 65 being an outlier. That is all you have to do to justify why this is not symmetrical. Sure nobody's messaging me to get in. Okay, I'm gonna do more of these until you guys think you've got it and you do not need it. So now we're gonna have state A, and then I'll do B on the other page. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put them in order, because if you're writing it down, you better just put it in order. And then you just cross off the ones when you're done so you don't miss one. 22, 23, 23 times. 2, 3, 24, and 24, and 25. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay, this one you could see right away, there is not an outlier. They're pretty close in numbers. So I'm gonna go ahead and find my median to right here. So that's my first number in my 5-number summary. Then I look right here, find the median of this one, which is 22. That will always go there, just like this one will always come down, my greatest and my lowest. And then I'm going to find this one, which is 24. And nice, pretty numbers again. Oops, that's a 23. So glad I can write. Oh, you know what? There we go. 23. So then we have 21, 22, 23, 24. And guys, when you're doing it on your own piece of paper, you do not need to write out 100 numbers. Just make sure you have the minimum and the maximum. So then I put my lines. I love these nice, pretty ones that are easy. Connect your dots for that one. So you can see the box and the whisker. And again, we can tell that this one is symmetrical. We'll look at the information. We will find, all it asks for the interquartile range. So I'm going to take these two numbers and subtract IQR. So I do 24 minus 22 gives me 2. And that's all they ask for in this. So you would have typed all that out. You would have had all 5 of these, what they are, and that for the first one. And then I'm going to do B, because you're comparing the data, which gives me a 20, a 20, a 21, 22, 23, 23, 24, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 46 and 50. So you should have been able to tell that there's definitely an outlier in this one again. And then we're just going back over what we did on the first one. So 23 is my median. Then I look at these two to give me my next median, which is 20.5. Then I look at these two. I'm lazy today. 46 minus 24 divided by 2 is 11. And then bring down my 50, bring down my 20.
Dark, you gotta add them and then divide by 2.
I did, didn't I? No, I
No, you
didn't.
subtracted and divided by 2.
I really did, didn't I? My fat fingers. And the worst part is I didn't even notice. Now I got 46 point something. Plus 46 equals divided by 2. Haha. There we go. Round 2. So then I get 35. Good catch, Michael. What am I going to do without you here?
I don't know.
So then I'm going to count by tens, 20, 30, 40. And I make sure I have big gaps because I notice I have all these numbers in between. So I have one here, 20.5 is like right there. So look at how short that is. 23 is going to be like right there. 35 is right here. And then 50, and I connect. Okay? So then again, I have interquartile range. IQR is going to be 35 minus 20.5, which is 14.5. And then these 5 numbers are my summary. And then you can easily see this one is skewed. So it is not symmetrical. And it is skewed to the left because honestly, it's of the 46 and 45 and 50 because those two just mess with the data way too much. Does anybody else have questions? Does anybody want to see more? Because I can keep doing more if you want to see more. I know a lot of you just join in just to see what's going to go wrong, but nothing really went wrong this time.
Ms. Sharkey, one question we'll ask them, which should they use the median or the mean to describe the data?
Yeah, that was
I'm
the
not sure
first thing we covered.
You might want to mention it again, I don't know.
So if it's symmetrical, guys, don't forget that we use the mean. And if it is asymmetrical or skewed one way or the other, doesn't matter which way, you always use the mean. I also told them that if they can validate it, so say they got it wrong, that they can just text us. And if they can validate their point, you and I would override their grade for them.
Awesome.
Because I know when I looked at, there was, I think, one question where even I would have gone with what the kids said, because to me, it didn't really look too asymmetrical. It was pretty close, but not perfect.
Yeah, I looked at the same one.
Probably. And I just kept giving the kids the points. So they know, just text us and we will fix it as long as they can validate themselves. I'm all about it. Anybody else with questions? Because I know this is your last Zoom with me. Poor Miss Newman and I aren't going to know what to do with ourselves at 3 o'clock every day. Okay, if you guys have questions on these, because I know it's the last 3. Oh, John, you have no idea how much we're going to miss them. We miss you guys. And it's the same group all the time. I love having you guys. And I love rubbing it into other teachers, how we have a lot of kids show up for our Zooms.
She does, a lot.
Oh, I'm bad. You guys should know that by now. I'm just so naughty. I'm like, yep, guess what? They'll be like, oh, we had nobody show up. I said, do you realize that Miss Newman and I have never gone to a Zoom or hosted a Zoom where nobody has shown up? We are like, we always have at least 10 kids. So we thank you very much for making us look good. But we're going to miss you. If you guys
Wait,
have
Sharky,
what?
after the Zoom, can you just stay? Because I have to just tell you something.
Okay. See, Victor's telling us, look, he goes to Miss Balch's and it's only him. Where are you guys for these poor Zooms? It's either that or we're just so good that you get it.
Just that you're so goofy.
That too. All of a sudden, we'll have Ariel popping up saying, where's our Zoom? I miss our Zoom. Well, it's the only way we've all had time.
Go let her in.
Well, it's the only chance we get to connect with you guys during this year. All right,
This
guys.
has stunk.
Yeah. All of a sudden tomorrow, you'll all be texting me, where's our Zoom? Okay, guys, I'm stopping the recording.